Hello guys. So for our final projects, we're using a passive piezo buzzer that will beep based on the interaction in the game. So anytime the ball holds or hits the walls or any of the players, it beeps a sound, and it does that by uh, changing electrical signal and frequency, because this type of speaker or buzzer doesn't have an oscillator built into it, so it depends on changing frequency and electrical signal to make the sound.
The next part of our project is using potentiometers to control the different values of where the paddles are going to be located. So what you see is the potentiometer can spin in essentially 360, and each position has a value. And so within the code itself, we take the ADC value and we map it to the values that we are allowed to display on the screen. And that allows us to control the different paddles from it. Each paddle internally has a ground, a voltage, and then the middle pin is where the values are sent to. And so each controller connects onto the Arduino, and the Arduino will read the value and then display it out to the TV. And each controller as well has a different servo, and these things serve the ball when it is time.
The final part of the project is video generation. So Arduinos can use the TV out library to generate basic black and white signals. What that entails is there's pin 7, which is the video signal, pin 9, which is a synchronization signal, and then a ground pin. So those three pins there are just connected to this basic filter circuit. Video has 1K ohm resistance, and then the sync has 470 ohms through it. And those are just on this perf board here, and those just get sent out to a old school composite video cable. Alright, so now we're just going to do a quick demonstration of the different game modes we have. So first off, we just have the classic Pong tennis. So each player gets one of the potentiometers we discussed earlier, can use it to control the different paddles, and then the serve button's right here on the side. So when you're ready to play the game, you just hit the serve button. Player 1 always starts first, and you just hit the ball back and forth. Try to get a score of 11 to win. So every time a player misses, it'll be their serve next. So as you can see, he missed. So now next time we serve, it'll go towards his direction. So serve direction's random. It'll either be up or down, just depending on what time you serve. And with the paddles here, you have the ability to kind of aim the ball as you hit it. So if you hit it with the top side of the paddle, it'll bounce upwards. If you hit it with the bottom side of the paddle, it'll go downwards. Try to get a demonstration of that. See here on the left, hit it with the top of the paddle, bounced up. And if you hit it with the bottom, should bounce down, like that. There's the chance if you hit it dead on in the middle, you can have it send straight horizontal, but that's pretty tricky to do, so it's a little rare. Just kind of a little something to every once in a while mix it up a bit.
Oh, this is not fun.
Last feature we have with it is every time the ball gets hit, it has a chance to very gradually increase or decrease its speed. So the longer the match goes, the ball has the possibility to get really fast. So it just kind of prevents you from having a volley going for far too long. Paddles have a limit on them, so you can't go off the screen in tennis mode. Just keeps you from scrolling too far.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
Sorry.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, each controller has a serve button, so there is the possibility, like we just did, to have player 1 serve for player 2 and vice versa. So something to keep in mind. So game match is 11 points, so should be able to see that coming up pretty soon.
Yeah. You're beating me. You win.
So every time a player wins, you can see just plays a little tune, shows the message, and then if either player hits their serve button, it'll just start the game again.
Yeah.
So we do have a couple difficulty modes and some game options. So one of the options is to change the paddle size. So this switch here on the left. So we just move this pin here, hit a reset button. You can see paddles are about now half the size, so it just makes it a little harder to hit. So they still have that option where you can aim the ball, but it's just a smaller target, so it just makes it a little more difficult to plan ahead. Same thing, it just plays up to 11 points, and then you get that same win screen. And with the harder difficulty, the ball has a default speed that's slightly faster.
Oh, is this it? Dude, they made Pong for this thing.
Oh. Okay. I have to win this one.
All right. Let's hear the different tones. So every time the ball bounces off a paddle or a player, it's this little short beep, and then scoring has a slightly longer tone. And then obviously the win has that little melody you heard earlier.
Seven, 4. Okay, let's go. Okay.
Next demonstration is we have a second game mode, which is handball. So that's controlled by the other switch here on the right. So get that switch there, hit the reset. And in this mode, you have both players on the left here, and the goal is just to keep the ball bouncing in motion. Every time you hit the white line on the right, you just get a point, and it's game over once either of you miss. So get that started. So the ball logic in this mode is exactly the same, so you can aim it with hitting it with a certain section of your paddle, and it'll slowly get faster the longer the game goes on.
Game over.
So same thing, you just hit the button, resets the paddles, game starts again. In this mode, the player 2 paddle has the ability to go off the screen, so if you want to turn this into a kind of one-player experience, you can just move the second player paddle out like that, so it's just not in the way.
Yeah.
So player 1's bound the same as in tennis mode. You can see it's just same kind of game, just other players out of the way. Gonna bring it back up.
Okay. I think it's okay.